This is exercise number 4 from chapter 9, and we're going to be considering a make or buy decision. A make or buy decision. So, should we buy the product somewhere else or shall we make it in-house? It says if a companion computer company manufactures the carrying cases, fixed factory overhead costs will not increase, so we have the capacity, and the variable factory overhead costs associated with the cases are expected to be 15% of the direct labor costs. So we'll be able to calculate what our total amount is. Down here in A it says prepare a differential analysis dated October 11th, 2012 to determine whether the company should make alternative 1 or buy alternative 2, the carrying case. If required, round to 2 decimal places, and if the amount is 0, enter a 0. Well, our purchase price, and that's making, the purchase price I think would be 0. Let's read the rest of this question. Companion Computer Company has been purchasing carrying cases for its portable computers at a delivered cost of $60 per unit. The company, which is currently operating below full capacity, charges factory overhead to production at the rate of 45% of direct labor cost. The fully absorbed unit cost to produce comparable carrying cases are expected to be as follows. Direct materials, $28. Direct labor, $22. Factory overhead, which is 45% of the direct labor, would be $9.90. So the variable cost, it looks like, would be $59.90. They've given that to me. And then, of course, as I read before, I'm expected to have factory overhead costs fixed factory overhead costs will not increase, and variable factory overhead costs associated with the cases are expected to be 15% of the direct labor costs. So if we go down here, our purchase price, if we're making it, would be 0 because we're not going to be buying it. If we're buying the case, it's going to be the $60. So we'd have 60 there. And the differential in this case, we would decrease by $60. Now our material costs, $28. And if we're buying it, we'd have 0. So our material costs will be $28 larger. Our direct labor cost, if we're making it, is going to be $22. And of course, if we're buying it, we'd have none. And we would have a $22 differential increase. Our variable factory overhead, now it next says the variable factory overhead cost per unit, and that's supposed to be 15% of the direct labor. If you multiply, in my case, 15% of $22, it's going to be $3.30. And, oops, I need a decimal there. Also, the fixed factory overhead, they said would be a total of $9.90, so that's going to be the fixed portion that's going to be allocated to it. And of course, under buying it, it would be 0, and for both of those, so we'd have 3.3. Actually, I think probably down here, fixed factory overhead per unit. Interesting. I'm going to plug in $6.60 because the fixed is not supposed to substantially change. So I'm going to put that in. I'm going to see what happens. Put a 0 there. Let's check my work real quick, and then we'll do the final tally. Okay, so I was right in my speculation. I wasn't quite sure, but the fixed factory overhead, because it's fixed, is going to be there regardless. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that in, and of course, this third column over here under the differential effect on the income is 0. That's 0 because there would be no change. Now, the net income or loss, let's go ahead and make our calculation there. We'd have, under alternative 1, it would be 28 plus 22 plus 3.3 plus 6.6. That looks like 59.90. Under alternative B, it'd be 60 plus 6.6 or 66.6. And the difference between the two looks like 66.6 minus 59.9, or a decrease of 6.7. Let's go ahead and check my work again. See how we did. Excellent. So my solution is correct. Over here, as you can see, I have a minus 6.7 decrease overall.